Tea with Night here with a very important message in our current age of streaming fatigue. For 25 years, Diabolic DVD has been the source for horror, cult, and other weird cinema for customers around the world. Diabolic offers a one-stop shopping experience for all your favorite big and boutique labels from all corners of the globe, including Cauldron, Arrow, Synapse, Vinegar Syndrome, Mondo Macabro, 88 Films, and so many more. So, whether you're looking for the definitive version of Suspiria or trying to upgrade your crusty old DVD of Cannibal Holocaust, Diabolic is the owner-operated small business choice you have been craving for your physical media needs. And since you're all loyal Nightlight listeners, you can scan this QR code or look for the link in our show notes and enter your email address for a 10% off coupon on your first purchase. Not valid for existing accounts. So, grab those discs, pop some popcorn, and don't forget your nightlight.
Well. I see you took my advice, but you'll still need to keep what was given to you, as the scenes of horror grow even more unimaginable. Prince and Freddie will continue to be your tour guides on this carousel of hell, only as long as you keep your nightlight close by to keep the black-eyed children at bay, the poltergeist calm, and the night crawlers hidden. Hit the lights and sit back as we welcome you to Nightlight, a horror movie podcast.
I'm Prince, also known as Head Knight.
And I'm Freddie, also known as Nighty Night.
And this is Nightlight, a horror movie podcast. Coming back at you with another motherfucking month, baby.
Hell yeah.
Well, I guess continuing this month, rather, because we did cover Sinners.
Yes.
Because this is, we cousins month. Also known as our sibling horror month. And you know what I just realized, Freddie? I just realized that I kind of fucked up on the list here on this one. You know, I had to remake this list because we fucked up the months.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I had to remake the list. So
Yes.
this month was a very, very last minute. But I fucked up. And you know why I fucked up?
Why?
I completely forgot about a particular movie called Marrowbone, which has Anya Taylor-Joy and the guy from Stranger Things, and it's literally a story about all siblings. It's fucked up there. I did not include that movie. I also fucked up by not including the movie called The Hamiltons. I fucked up there too. I also fucked up on the movie of, it's a very long title, but it's something about keeping you alive. Something like that. Okay. Where it's the brother who is, I guess, a vampire, and his family is trying to literally kill people to keep him alive. And it's, I fucked up by not including any of those types of movies. So my bad, everybody.
Hey, we got some good ones.
We got some good ones. But like, really I feel like I pulled pretty generic with this one when I was kind of going in there. Like, I'm very happy with Sinners and the movie we're going to be talking about, which is none other than The Ugly Stepsister. And the other movies are also fine. But I just feel like I fucked up a little bit in terms of, not in Prince fashion, choosing the more lesser generic films and more of the deeper cut films. For that, I apologize.
Yeah.
And now my apology's done. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, a few things that I want to preface before we jump into this. One thing in particular is about our Patreon. We have changed something very dynamic into our Patreon, something you're going to hear in just a moment here. As some of you know, we've been hosting EVPs, also known as the way of you being able to be a part of the show by voicing your opinions on the movies that we're covering. It's great, it's fantastic, but we ran a poll. And in that poll, we did mention that we want to see if folks were digging it at the tier that it was currently at. This was currently at our highest tier, which was the Hellfire tier for $25. And for some people, looks like it was a little bit too hard of an investment for some individuals, which is completely understandable. So what we ended up doing, we changed our tiers around to make the EVPs a lot more obtainable at our lowered tier, which is going to be at our Lantern, I believe, our Lantern tier. which is $10. So for $10, you can now be a part of the show. But because we did do that, we did have to move around some other things to make sure that our Hellfire tier was still something that people can have more exclusive. So we moved our Night Watch series into that. Our Night Watch series is the series where we actually do full-blown commentary of a film where we watch it from start to finish and you are watching it with us. So that is Night Watch. If that's something that also entices you, feel free to sign up for the Hellfire tier over on patreon.com/nightlightpod. That's night with a K. Also, in other news, we are currently in the midst of creating a website. The link does work, but the website itself is currently in construction mode. But there is a nice little splash page on there if you want to go ahead and take a look at that. But the website is nightlight, obviously night with a K, .rip. So yes, that is our website. Things that you can probably expect on the website is one, access to the show. Also have access to merch and also fun little bios and things like that. And we'll also probably be doing some other things on there as well. But that is a great way for you to get to know us a little bit more, if you will. So there you go. Housekeeping done. Now, back to what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about none other than the Ugly Stepsister. Before we do that, I do have those EVPs that I mentioned of that we're going to play right now, and then we're going to go ahead and share our thoughts shortly after this.
What's up, Prince and Freddie? We're going to talk about The Ugly Stepsister. Man, was this movie a surprise. I was honestly going in wasn't really expecting much, but holy shit. Was this movie gruesome, hard-hitting, and I wasn't really didn't really realize what this movie was about until I really started watching. I'm like, oh, this is actually a movie about the ugly side of Cinderella, and me being like that. It's like, oh, damn, that all this makes sense now. But Jesus Christ, the telling is just it was harsh, and it just made me feel so bad for one character, but realizing that person is still bad. So overall, it was just an amazing surprise hit for me, for sure.
Rain here with another EVP. So The Ugly Stepsister, I think, was such a grotesque and yucky and getting under your skin delightful movie. I absolutely loved how disgusting the characters felt. I loved how you could feel certain desperation throughout the film, and I think the characters really just did it for me. I'm excited to hear what y'all have to say, and I need to see you both squirm when y'all are covering this. I would love that very much. Okay, bye.
You heard it here first, folks.
I squirmed a lot, so watching this movie. So
yeah, lots of squirming.
Yeah.
Lots of squirming in this movie. Definitely lots of squirming in this movie, for sure. First and foremost, Freddie, thoughts?
Yeah, so it's kind of cool, kind of how you were talking about started this month. Starting off the big hitters, to be honest. The two Oscar-nominated
movies
for the Oscars. Hell yeah. Starting it big, celebrating horror and all of its greatness of what it can do within storytelling. And this movie is definitely a phenomenal story. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Do I absolutely love it? No, because exactly what C was talking about, this movie makes me feel uncomfortable, as it should, because it's supposed to be doing that. Yeah. So it's sometimes a hard rewatch, especially a scene that's towards the very end gets me every single time, and I've seen this movie, I think, 3 times now. So as much as I don't want to
man, it sounds like you like it quite a bit.
Exactly. So you know what? Maybe I do love this movie, and rightfully so,
yeah,
too.
I think you do. It's okay, man. Let that freak flag hang high, man.
Right.
Let that freak flag hang high.
I really enjoy that this movie has a lot to say. It has a lot to do with social commentary as well, and the lengths people would go to find their own perfection of what they want for someone else, but not really for their own, and exactly how stories are told in Disney fashion. They're all like cautionary tales. But this is like, here's a cautionary tale in a very dark, realistic way. It's fucked up and it's phenomenal. It's well acted. Kind of like what C was saying too. You can feel the desperation in this character or characters, because a lot of characters are going through different journeys themselves. I'll constantly think about what the mom is doing. I'm constantly thinking what Cinderella is doing and what the ugly stepsister is doing. Actually, both sisters too. I think even the younger sister has her own character arc and what she's going through, as well as she's seeing her sister transform into something she's not. Yeah, this movie feels fantastical, but also doesn't hold back on the brutalness of all of what they're trying to show through symbolism.
Kicks you while you're down.
Oh, for sure. And then all of a sudden it comes like that pink, opaque filter and
that's why I got my lights. Kind of hard to see it, but I got my lights to be a little bit more Bridgerton-esque.
Right. And you know what? Shout out to the Oscar nomination for costume design, because it definitely deserves it too.
It definitely deserves it.
Yeah, this movie goes places, and I think it is well worth the watch. I think it has really incredible storytelling, and it's brilliantly made. It's different. It's very unique, and I will say that too. This might not work for everybody because it is a different type of how you tell a story, but I liked how they blended all the tones. They blend the dark and fantastical tones very well. But overall, I think this movie is definitely worth the watch.
100,000,000%, man. I fucking love this movie. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I love this movie so much. This movie's incredible. This movie was part of my top 10 last year. I think it was also part of C's top 10 as well. So, like, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I think this movie definitely had me in a little bit of a chokehold last year, just because like it was all I could really think about. Even, and I'm sure I annoyed the shit out of my wife, because when she would watch Bridgerton last year, I would always be like, "Cool, the Ugly Stepsister did something similar." Obviously, my wife did not watch this, but this is a good movie that would pair very well with the double feature with The Substance. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like I feel like this movie with The Substance would just work so beautifully together. There's such a great like play on what it means to have like body dysmorphia in such a intense way that you are focusing on initially bloodshed and to make yourself look pretty, right? So like you're trying to follow these norms, and there's so many concepts within this movie that really focuses on what it means to be considered a social norm, right? And I'm using quotations here for the folks who are listening to the audio podcast, but when this is a like the social norm aspect behind this particular movie, it's just it's interesting to say the least, because of the fact that it just has so many different aspects of what it means to just be human. And that's really what it comes down to, for me at least, is like what it means to just be human, just to be yourself. And if someone can't love you for you being yourself, then that person doesn't deserve you. You know, like that's what it really feels like, and that's what it really kind of comes down to. Now, this movie, to me personally, is just it just does such a great job of what you mentioned, where it kind of like blends different tones and things like that. And I agree with Johnny. Like, if you did not know what this movie was going into it, you're in for a surprise. Like, whether that be good or bad, you're in for a surprise. I saw someone review this on Shudder who liked the movie but didn't consider it a horror film, and. You know, I found that interesting when they were just like, I don't consider this to be a horror film. And they were like, yeah, there's some gross parts. And I was like, yeah, but I feel like that's not what makes it horror. I feel like the horror is more psychological.
Matter.
Yeah. Like the whole subject matter behind it feels more psychological and more internal. And that's where the real horror is, because there are individuals who are like this. Like we're seeing it now in how people are talking about like certain actresses' bodies and things like that, like them looking skinnier and stuff like that. I personally don't notice much of that stuff, to be completely honest with you. I don't know, like, you know, I don't really pay that close attention to it. And honestly, I don't feel like it's really my place to pay attention to it. Like, it's just that's their, you know, there's a whole other different nuanced conversation that can be had there when it comes to like body types and so on. But like this showcases a lot of like body dysmorphia. Like there's this one creator, God, I can't remember her name. I have to find her name really quick because she has a lot of video essays discussing this. I think she does a really good job in terms of discussing this in a way that is understandable for a lot of people who don't have a lot of this context. Also, she's a woman, so I feel like she can speak to this a lot better than we can, obviously. But she does video essays specific to movie drama or Hollywood in general. Her name's Marina McBain, and I believe she's from the UK, but she's incredible. She does a lot of great stuff. Like, for example, she had one video about 2 weeks ago where she has an essay breaking down the toxic nature from men in cinema being considered romantic. And I think that is such an incredible, like, enlightening way to see how the portrayal of men on screen and how you're supposed to think this is a bad fucking guy, yet they're put in situations where their counterparts believe it's romantic and they want to be with them and so on and so forth. But she has one that's more recent that speaks to this conversation a little bit more, where she has a video called Women Are Getting Smaller, and it's not just their bodies. And she goes on to discuss first the body types, but also how they're being minimized in media, and the portrayal of them in media in general is being minimized. And the only time people want to talk about them is when they have these kind of like drastic changes to their bodies and things like that. It's honestly incredible. I would highly suggest checking her content out. It's Marina McBain once again, and she's fucking fantastic, and she does such an incredible job breaking this down. And she uses clips from like TikTok, from real people and from influencers, and from her perspective, and so on and so forth. Should just really state her case and what she's talking about and discussing in this current climate that we're currently in. So it's fascinating. It's really fascinating. But shout out to her. She obviously can talk about this a lot more. So we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the body dysmorphia aspect of it, but we are going to be kind of touching on it, as you can come to understand, because it's kind of hard not to, because that's what a portion of the movie is about. But you ready to jump into this, man?
I can't wait. I'm excited.
Let's fucking do this, man. I'm the fucking head first, my guy. The Ugly Stepsister, directed by Emilie Blichfeldt. Probably butchered that. She's Norwegian. I'm sure I did. Released January 23rd of 2025 with a runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes and a budget of $4.2 million, and a great box office for this particular type of movie of $5.6 million. Obviously, didn't make a ton of it, but they made their money and some.
100%.
So, and for this to be a film that is a foreign film to make this much money, huge.
A lot of different factors that would probably not get this result, and it did, which is phenomenal. So
this movie came out at the right time.
Yeah.
And I think if this movie would have come out a few years ago, I think it would not have done as well as it did.
Right. Well, the other thing too, I know when it came out, this movie is the epitome of what word of mouth is all about. Absolutely. A lot of people were talking about this movie. A lot of people seeked out this movie because of what people had said and the great reviews it got. Mm-hmm. This really showed the momentum of how great the horror community had for this movie. Yeah. Because I know it's beloved by a lot of people too, which is really cool to see. And people are still constantly talking about it. And having this being recognized at the Oscars, of all places, is a damn miracle. What? A movie like this
movie genuinely is a Cinderella story in the outrospect of it being the fact that it made it to the Oscars. This movie should have made it to the Oscars, mind you, but it also, in the context of the history of the Oscars, it 100% shouldn't have.
Exactly. It deserves to be there, but it would have never have gone in there, and we're happy it did that.
I don't know what they were drinking in the Kool-Aid during this Oscar season, but we had a ton of horror movies that were appreciated during the Oscars, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
I can just imagine the Academy members who are probably a little bit on the older side just watching this movie, and they're like, yeah, let's nominate it. I was like, what?
Well, now they
is great.
use
Exactly.
that as a requirement now. So
You
now
have to
they
watch it.
have to watch all the movies that
Good.
are going to be on the ballot, which is great. That's also a requirement for
They should.
Dead Meat Horror Awards as well, because I'm a panelist. For the Dead Meat Horror Awards, but that's also a requirement for the Dead Meat Horror Awards. Like, you have to watch all the films that are on the list before you can make your judgment, initially to remove your bias, right? Which is great, because if it was up to me and because I haven't seen all the movies that are on the list that are nominated for Dead Meat Horror Awards, obviously I can't share them right now, but if it was up to me, I would choose probably Sinners. You can probably assume that Sinners is going to be on the fucking list, but I would choose Sinners for damn near everything. But now I can't, because I have to, watch all these movies, and that's initially a part of my job for Dead Meat. So I'm proud to do it. Thanks, James and Chelsea. But let's go ahead and jump into. Oh, by the way, I want to mention this movie had a rating of 96% on the Rotten Tees. Shout out.
Huge.
We open to the drawing of Prince Julian as Elvira reads poetry from his book called Most Beautiful Poems. While in the back of a carriage, she imagines him shooting her with an arrow before he wakes her up with a kiss. She's rudely woken up by her sister Alma, slapping her in the face as they arrive at their destination. So another thing we need to mention, this movie's actually genuinely hilarious.
There's
this
comedic
movie's
moments.
really funny. And I remember when I watched this movie and I was explaining it to you before you watched it for the first time, and I said, I was like, it's oddly comedic, and you're like, what? And I was like, yeah. And then when you watch it, you're like, I understand what you mean. Yeah, there's definitely some funny moments in here that are like very, very on the verge of like, it's a comedy.
Right.
So yeah,
It doesn't take itself serious, and then it all of a sudden takes itself very serious. And I'm just like,
it has some very serious
Yeah.
messaging, but at the same time, it also knows how to play very well with that messaging to lighten it a little bit. They're assisted into another carriage. Alma doesn't take the chauffeur's hand, but Elvira gladly does, fully leaning into her new life. This is great context here. We see that Alma is very anti my mother because she knows her mom's game. Like, I feel like we kind of have to spoil it here just to really get the full understanding of like this particular context here. Her mom is a gold digger. That's probably the best way I can put it.
Right. She's selling herself or her own kids to be rich and be taken care of, essentially.
Yeah, essentially until that person dies, and they take money from the estate at that point. So when they die, she has kind of this game, it sounds like, where she goes for older men who have money, who's about to die, and once that person dies, she takes over their estate and she gets money, and then she moves on to the next person when she runs out. That's how she does it. And she teaches this to her daughter, but her daughters rather, but the only one who picks on is Elvira. And Elvira is very much into this lifestyle.
Yeah.
She's like, no, this is the only way we can make money
for her.
Yeah, this is the only way we can do it. They make it to their new estate, greeted by Rebecca's new soon-to-be husband, Otto, and his daughter, Agnes. He takes her hand with a smile as he kisses it. Elvira is enraptured with Agnes's beauty as he welcomes them. Cut to the wedding before Agnes shows Elvira the house. And at first, Agnes is like into it. Like she's totally fine with them being here. She's totally like understanding of like, this is her father's wishes. This is what he wants. And she's just being I guess in this term, an obedient daughter.
Right. Which they play on that theme a lot in this movie too, where it's like women need to be obedient to men, where we just see her act like a dog later too, and I was just like always uncomfortable with that scene, but it makes more sense.
That's such an uncomfortable
moment. The more
moment.
rewatches, the more you pick on, and you're just like, oh, I see what you're trying to say. Yeah.
I haven't seen the new season of Euphoria, and I don't plan on seeing it, but I guess they do something similar in Euphoria, where I guess she dresses up like a dog or a baby or something.
There's
and by
a lot of
she, I
controversy
mean
with that scene specifically, but yeah.
What's her name?
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she dresses up like a dog or a baby or something like that. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's a lot of controversy with the scene and all that stuff. So there's a lot of controversy with that show in general. So
yeah.
I'm surprised, honestly, they went in for a third season, to be with you. I thought second season they were like, yeah, we're done. But nope. She introduces Elvira to Isaac, which once again, this is all Norwegian names. I am pronouncing them in obviously the American way. I had a hard time trying to pronounce them in the Norwegian way. I think Elvira was pronounced Elvria, and Isaac was Isak. And so it's a little tough for me to distinguish that multiple times. So I am just going to I'll try, but if you hear me kind of going back and forth, please, I'm sorry. I'll just apologize in advance for that. He tends to the horses. They continue into another room, leaving her in absolute awe before looking out at a castle across the way. Agnes asks if she's reading Prince Julian's poetry, and all Elvira can admit is that she wants to marry him. While at the dinner table, Otto and Rebecca cut a slice of cake. He playfully moves the slice of cake in her face, and Agnes tells him to stop, but he's having too much fun, chucking the slice at Elvira's face.
Okay.
What?
Weird, but okay.
Very weird. Very weird.
She's like smiling with it too. She's like, oh.
At first she's shocked, and then she starts like smiling when everybody else kind of starts laughing, because she's just like, oh, I guess this is supposed to be funny. So therefore I'm going to join in so I'm not considered the odd duckling.
Yeah.
Like you feel for Agnes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It was a weird move. It was a weird move. You definitely feel for Agnes, just to kind of like, or excuse me, not Agnes. You feel for Agnes, but like Elvira, and she is a product of her mom, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like she very much is learning a lot of this from her mom, and the way she is as a person is because of the shadow of her mom,
right?
And which is very true for a lot of people. A lot of people follow their parents' footsteps, whether they like it or not, or you inherit characteristics from your parents, whether it be good or bad. And this is just a very clear indication of how Elvira was taught and what she was exposed to ever since she was a child. Because that's another thing. We don't know how old Elvira is, but the assumption is that she is a teenager. So that's what we can only assume here. But with Elvira being, her considered the ugly duckling for the family, and I use that with quotations, she has braces. She has, I guess, a strange nose. She has these things that her mom and herself considers to be facial or facial flaws, or physical flaws.
Yeah.
When it's just like, not really. Like, she had braces because you wanted her to fix her teeth or straighten her teeth or whatever. And she, like she looks like a teenager. Like she looks like a young person. It's just like, there's nothing odd about it. And I remember when I was watching the movie, I was just like, I think she's pretty. Like I don't think she's like ugly. Like I don't know what like at first I was just like, I don't. And then I realized like that's the fucking point. Like that's
everyone's picking out all of these minor imperfections and saying it's the gratitude is like, no, it's like, this is really bad. You should be someone different. And I hate where I've noticed a lot more in this movie where they kind of talk about, it's like, oh, you are beautiful on the inside. And they do say that. They're like, oh, we want your inside to look like, or like, we want your outside to look like your inside. We want you to be beautifully outside.
They give her something that will destroy her inside.
Exactly. Which that's honestly a great symbolic, because like you have to destroy your internal self to become who you're not supposed to be.
Someone else
completely. And that's not to say, like, I know we touched about other horror films that talk about body modifications. And if you're doing it for yourself and that's who you want to be and identify as, please go do it. But if you're doing it for other people or for society, then that is where this tale is kind of telling you, it's like, no, that's not okay.
And Elvira wants to fit in the societal norms, right? Like she feels that she is outcasted because she looks different, which is very much not the case. It's just the fact that her mom fed it to her that you have to be with a rich man and only rich men like this or whatever, instead of just truly finding love and just being content with finding love. It's also a little unfortunate that Agnes's story wasn't technically a happy ending for her either, because she ended up with someone she really didn't want to end up with, and she did it out of spite rather than wanting to do it. You know what I'm saying? So like, we'll touch on Agnes as well, because her story is just as sad and heartbreaking as Elvira's is, and it kind of makes me think who actually won in this situation. Was it Elvira or Agnes? Or no one. Yeah, exactly. Was it Alma? All along. I feel like she's the true winner here. She's the only one who's just like, I'm my own person.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Exactly. And I love Alma's shift, and we'll talk about her shift as well later. Causing them all to erupt in laughter, but their laughter is quickly stifled when Otto starts having a heart attack, spitting blood in Agnes's face before falling dead on the table. Tautocard with his corpse on the table, accompanied by decayed food, magnets, and a huge fucking tapeworm. Then we cut to 3 men entering the estate. Elvira knocks on Agnes's door as she sobs in bed. She sets the tray of chocolate on her vanity, sitting down and enjoying a piece as Agnes lies quietly in bed. About to brush her hair, Agnes asks her to leave. Instead of leaving, Elvira shows how her mother got over the death of their father. Offended, Agnes finds it incomparable before she notices that Elvira is holding her brush, commenting on her lack of decency, knowing that her father wouldn't have married Rebecca if it weren't for the money. Elvira is confused, running out, calling for her mother, busting into a room, shouting about Otto's estate not having any money, and interrupting the confiscation of all their newly obtained property by the 3 men, leaving them with a set of coins before walking out. Rebecca drops to the floor, and Elvira runs to her aid, promising that they'll find a solution. Rebecca complains about it being hard to find a rich man willing to marry her because she's old and has hopeless daughters. She says a few other things, a few like bodily appearance things, where she said things like she had saggy breasts and things like that. So like she does like mention a lot of like bodily things. As you can see later down the line, she has more sex than everyone in this whole entire movie. So like, it's
she
not like,
her
you know,
body to get what she wants, which
exactly.
It's for me. I still think she has a sad story because she feels like she has to do this for her family, and she puts this expectations on her daughters as well. And although she's doing horrific things to her own daughter later on, especially towards the end of the movie, where you're just like, wow, you have really no remorse for putting your daughter in this situation, and you're continuing to put her in this situation. You're just like, I also get it of like where you're coming from. It's like, this is your way to survive. And this is what you always had to constantly do. And I'm just like, oh, it's the generational trauma thing. It's like, this is how it gets passed down from person to person to person. And you're just like, God damn it sucks. But yeah, literally her finding out, it's like, oh, we only married your mom because of your mom's money. And then you have the self-realization, it's like, oh my God, you have no money too? What the fuck? Let me sprint to tell my mom our major plan failed, and she fucking faints. So it just shows the severity for like how bad of a situation this is for them. They're like, we were saved, quote unquote, but not really at all. Like everything just falls apart. And now it's from this moment on, desperation to get back to what they wanted to get.
And her mom continues to do things in a matter of like IOUs, right? Where she's like putting things on like layaway or whatever. It's just like, exactly. Like all these promises and so on and so forth.
Really gambling on her daughter.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Now it's interesting because like, I know you mentioned that like, Rebecca's kind of forcing her to do this. I kind of disagree a little bit, only based on the fact that like, her mom doesn't really, because she calls her daughters hopeless.
Right. Elvira wants to prove herself like, I can do this. I can do this for you. Like, look, Mom, I could be the person you want.
It's almost a manipulation tactic. She's trying to like be this more impressive figure.
It's on both of them.
It's on both of them for sure. Yeah. Elvira suggests that she marry instead, but Rebecca calls her ugly and Alma is too young. Alma hasn't had her period yet. So since she hasn't had her period yet, therefore she is not a woman. Yeah, exactly. So this is a very important moment here because this is great for Alma's side story as well. There's so many stories happening within this from the perspective of just Elvira.
It's great character development.
Emilie does such a good job at developing these characters on the sideline just as much as she does the ones on the forefront.
Everyone has an arc.
Exactly. She goes to her room, looking at herself in the mirror, picking and poking at her face. She forces a zit out of her skin. And this is, very common for a teenager to do, pick at your face and
Right.
try to have good skin practices and so on and so forth. Everybody should, be taking care of their skin. Like it's literally the main organ that is exposed to everything, so you want to take care of it. But yeah, so wash your face, people. Meanwhile, Agnes is with Otto praying to her dead mother not to allow her to have the same fate. A dove flies on the windowsill, and this is very characteristics of Cinderella here, right? Talking to animals and shit like that. As Elvira lies in bed, she's encouraged to rush outside as the horns sound by someone from Prince Julian's castle. The messenger invites them to his ball, where he's looking to court a virgin. Ugh. Don't like the way they say that.
Yep, that's weird.
You're a virgin who can't drive.
Agnes is already outside, not as excited as Elvira is. She shares her information to receive her invitation. Elvira shares her name, but is stumped since she doesn't have a surname. Agnes mentions that she's her stepsister, so he makes that her surname.
Von Stepsister.
Elvira von Stepsister. That's her.
Comedic.
So
there you go. There's the comedy.
There you go. Elvira can care less because this might be her ticket to getting rich. She runs back inside to tell her mother as she daydreams riding on a horse with the prince. Cut to Elvira having her face measured by Dr. Aesthetic. I think this is pronounced in a French way, and I think it's esthétique. But
Aesthetic. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
There we go.
Who admits that he can remove her braces, pointing out the structure of her nose, ensuring Rebecca that he would tame it. Quote unquote. He tries to upsell them on some fake eyelashes, but Rebecca shoots it down, wanting to know how quickly this can be done. She offers him double after the ball, and Alma is horrified by all of the blood that's being cleaned up in another room. And this is another thing to preface as well, is that Dr. Aesthetic's nurses all are like big breast women and have, fake eyelashes and very boisterous with their appearance and things like that. And it's very clear that he loves his job, like a plastic surgeon or something.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's very into his job of body manipulation for women. And I guess for his terms, he's good at it. I don't know. So
Right.
no
And
one
it's a
doesn't look like
very-
anyone's died. So I don't know.
Very gory process, it sounds like, too.
Yeah.
And it very much is, because we physically see it.
Yeah.
And it's horrific, but we'll get there.
This was the moment where I personally fell in love with the acting in this movie. Before I thought it was very well done, but this is where I was just like,
What's her name?
holy shit, my God. Leah Marin.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's incredible. Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Elvira is getting her braces painfully ripped out of her face while Rebecca is looking at the menu of noses. She chooses number 7. Aesthetic counts to 3 before breaking the bridge of Elvira's nose with an instrument. She screams bloody murder as his nurse gently holds her head down, waiting for her screams to die down just to do it again. And this is one, we see how brutal it is.
Ever. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Most realistic.
This might be a
ever.
hot take. Legit the best scream in horror I've ever heard.
It's pretty
Legit,
good. It makes you
the best scream.
feel real and very authentic.
Yeah.
Because the way
Exactly.
she screams seems so genuine to
It's
what's actually happening to
painful.
her. Yeah.
Such a painful scream. And she does this multiple times. She puts her body through so much anguish while acting in this film. Like the way she bulges her eyes out when she makes it seem like she's choking.
Just
And,
the eyes in general in this movie.
Oh
just
my
like the close-ups and the
fucking
look.
God.
I don't know. There's some aspects in this movie where I'm just like, I don't know how you guys actually made this. Like, I don't understand like how you were able to make this. It's so well done, so well crafted. The body horror in the movie itself is an achievement on its own, by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Leah Marin is a very kind of like alt kind of style of a gal, which I love. I think her style is absolutely incredible. So like you can tell like she was very passionate to play this role because she lives a very alternative lifestyle compared to what is considered a social norm. Like very unconventional for Hollywood standards, but very conventional for like a scene like ours, for example.
That's fair.
All the women from the village are waiting to learn their dance routine from Miss Sophie. Elvira sits there alone with the metal cast on her nose. This looks so fucking great. This is why that costume design was like, yeah, we gotta put this in there. The girls chatter and giggle with excitement when they learn that they'll be performing at the ball. Since there will be a lead and 2 supporting, this leaves them with the opportunity to show off for Julian. While they're all practicing the dance, she thinks she's killing it, but Miss Sophie's wife or girlfriend or partner, Madame Vanya, sends her all the way to the back, moving Agnes in her place. During dinner, Elvira is fed a broth, which looks terrible. It's like lemon broth. I don't know, like watery lemon broth, while everyone else is eating actual food. Agnes has a date on when she would like to bury Otto, but Rebecca mentions that they can't afford it right now. She didn't even say it like that. She really said it in terms of just like after the ball. Like, we'll bury him after the ball. Mind you, the ball is in 3 fucking months from now. And they literally have his body on the previous dinner table that they ate on, and they're eating on a separate dinner table now. How vile. Like, absolutely vile. Oh my God. Wanting to wait until yeah, dude, it's like bro's decaying, like straight up.
Yeah.
Dude, it like obviously like this being centered more as a period piece, that's pretty common for like that, you know, day and age, I guess, in terms of like bodies dying on the street and they're just leaving them there. And it's just like, brother.
Stench.
I wouldn't have lasted a second. Like, I wouldn't have lasted a second. Waiting to wait until Elvira is married after the ball, Agnes brings up the rates of the doctor, knowing that he's not cheap. Pissed that she's spending money on everything but her rotting father. Rebecca rebuts that not everything costs money, offering her 2 daughters some of Agnes's unworn dresses. She bolts from the table, bringing her father's bloated and fly-buzzing body some flowers, shocked by his appearance. School is back in session as the girls learn all of these ladylike qualities. During breaks, Elvira reads the poems before everyone runs out to read the list of who is cast in the recital. And this is like the main thing where like initially Miss Sophie and Madame Vanya are teaching them how to peacock. Right, like they're
how to be
fluttering
a lady,
of the fan,
and
yeah, exactly. They're teaching them how to peacock and how to showboat a little bit.
This scene, well crafted, well edited, of just each one coming to the
beautifully choreographed
in front of the camera, fanning the fan and going backwards, and just seeing all of them. I was like, damn, this is like a well crafted, edited movie as well. Which
absolutely,
the filmmaking aspects of the movie is well done.
Very well choreographed. You can tell that everyone's having a good time on set as well. You can tell that everybody's actually very much enjoying being there.
Ton of great costumes. Phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Looks great. I feel like every time someone does a time period piece, that's kind of like where they can kind of flex their like set design skills and costume designs. Where this movie definitely has great set design and costume design. So well deserved.
Knowing that she might not have made the list, she drags her feet toward the board, but someone's name is crossed out and she made the cut. Cue the daydream sequence of her and the prince. A quick demonstration by Vanya as the girls watch in a circle. After she's done, she questions who can do this. Everyone raises their hand, surprised that Elvira's hand is raised as well. She forces her to demonstrate, correcting her before stopping the harp player so she can insult her, admitting that she's being paid by Rebecca.
Damn.
Like, we're paying you to be here.
It's
yeah,
like,
and literally in front of everybody.
It's like,
it's like
we're
being paid to have you here.
Yeah, it's like you're only here because your mom paid us, and I want
that's
you
why
to
the
know
name
that,
was
and I want
crossed
the
out.
audience to know that. Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
like we kick someone else
and that's
out
why that name was crossed out. Like it was just the fact that like her mom paid them. It was just like my daughter has to be in there. Like fine, we'll put her in the fucking back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
even when that happened too, that scene was so funny, but kind of like really heart wrenching for her. It's like go to the back. So it goes back 1 row. Are you not listening to me?
All
go to
the
back
way
again.
in the back.
And then she ends up, towards the very, very end. And she's like, good. And then she's with like the other girls that has like braces on. It's like, this is where the girls who are not perfect go. It's just like, damn.
This is where she doesn't even have her braces anymore. Like,
Right.
She doesn't even
No,
have
but
them
the girl
anymore. But
next
she does
to
have
her-
she does have the cast on her nose.
Right.
But,
But the girl next to her had braces on. So it's like,
Right.
all of you ugly, quote, in quotes, everyone who's not watching that video. All the
It's called the Ugly
girls to the back.
Stepsister after all.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're trying every fiber in our being to not get canceled right now.
We should have had a woman on this episode. My bad, guys.
Yep.
We realize it.
We accept fault.
Yeah,
Yep, that's
fair
our
enough.
bad. She calls Agnes and a couple of others instead, showcasing how they're all in sync, leaving Elvira to cry in the back. Later that night, Rebecca and a maid are trying to squeeze Elvira into a dress that doesn't fit her. Rebecca doesn't care what it takes. She just wants it to work. When the helper takes the dress and leaves, Elvira looks at her naked body in the mirror. Not happy with her appearance, she sits at her vanity, eating a hidden dessert in the drawer. Back at the school, she sits across from another gal holding the book of poems while in a waiting area. Sophie brings out Agnes, knowing that Julian will love her. She scowls at Elvira before leaving out. Her interview is next. So this is where you get clear indication that it is officially a competition between stepsisters. Elvira is competing against Agnes, and Agnes knows. She's like, I look good. So, she doesn't have to work as hard or whatever, right? Versus Elvira, who feels that she does not look the conventional sense. So therefore, she has to work harder. She uses her interview more as a therapy session to share that, like, I'm not good enough and I don't feel confident and blah, 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 blah. So that way, Miss Sophie can give her what she gives her initially. Right. Not helping.
And this is where the conversation starts to talk. It's like, oh, you're so beautiful inside. We want to bring that outside.
Yeah.
And what she gives her kind of destroys her inside, like you said.
But it is more of like a therapy session as she pours her heart out about being undesirable. Sophie empathizes with her, claiming that she sees a lot of herself in Elvira. But Elvira calls herself ugly and fat. Sophie wants her to take off the cast so she can see the current state of her nose, wincing at Elvira's pain before complimenting her nose and considering that she's matching her physical appearance with her internal. She gives her a locket, assuring her that it's what's inside that counts. While riding horses with her sister, she recites more poems, reading them to Alma before sharing what's inside the locket. It's a tapeworm egg. She explains what it does and how it will make her thin and beautiful, taking the antidote after marrying the prince. Alma worries about her mental state, knowing that she'll do anything their mom says, and Elvira snaps back, not wanting her to tell their mom, calling her childish. That's enough for Alma, and she straight up leaves her ass. Good for Alma, dude.
Good for her. Yeah. I like how she said, too, I would never do that. And I was like, that's a great point to bring up. At least for
and
her
this is
character.
when she calls her childish.
Yeah.
And when she tells her that, like,
you don't understand.
Like, yeah, because you're childish. You don't understand. And
this is what we have to do as women to get to the place that we need to be in life, which is, like, heartbreaking.
Fucking sucks.
So mature for Alma to kind of realize, like, that's not the way.
It's like, nah, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the path you want to take, more power to you, but count me the fuck out.
I'll leave you to it. Yeah, exactly. I want no part in this. I don't want to see you self-destruct yourself as well.
Right. Yeah. This is unfortunate because this is still a very common thing, and it makes it hard for me as a father who is raising a young girl in this world. Like, that scares the shit out of me because it's just like, I see my little girl when she looks at other women and she has this context of, like, what she deems pretty, right? Like, for example, Princess Elsa or whatever. Sure. She deems those to be pretty. And then you show her context of, like, a person who's a little bit more heavyset or something like that. She calls them a grandma or something like that. So, like, I'm already seeing context of it because of society. Like, right. Yeah, and I'm already seeing it for my daughter because of society. And, you know, it's fucking heartbreaking. So, like, I'm working really hard to teach her that, like, this is normal. Everybody's different. And that is normal to have different body shapes and different ways that you look, different appearances. She's going to be different looking than other kids, right? And it already has been something that we've noticed where like certain parents will link their kids with our child. Not to toot my own horn or anything, or me and my wife's own horn, but our daughter is fucking cute. Like, she's a really cute girl. We don't show her on social media or anything like that, so you guys will never probably see her. But she has long curly hair, and it's very, very voluminous, and she has light brown eyes, and you know, so like she is a cute kid. So like, we've seen parents try to link their children with our child almost as if it was like an ulterior thing. It never was just like to play. It was always just like a very like, oh, I would love for my child to dance with your child or something like that. It would be shit like that. And I'm just like, well, because my daughter does dance, but like, it's just, it would be stuff like that. That is just like, why? She's like, She's a cool kid. Like, just let the kids do what they want to do. Let them be kids. Like, it's just,
and they can choose their own friends and do whatever they want. Yeah. Find interest in each other's like same hobbies and stuff, not externally, like you said. Yeah.
So like it genuinely terrifies me as a father raising a daughter because of just like society norms and things like that.
Well,
like
we've been taught at an early age that everything's a popularity contest.
Yeah,
everything is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But cut to Agnes meeting up with Isaac, who's working on the barn. They passionately kiss one another before she whispers that she must marry the prince. As he fights back tears, thinking their love is meaningless, she reassures him that she'll never love anyone else. Meanwhile, Elvira admires the tapeworm egg, hesitating a bit before swallowing it. She's startled by a duck being shot out of the sky, overhearing a group of men celebrating in the distance, discussing how... and disgusting, how they should have sex with someone in celebration. And they're like, who should we have sex with? A whore or a virgin? And he was like, why not both? And it's just, you guys are fucking sick.
Yeah.
She moves closer, hiding behind a tree, realizing that it is Julian and his crew as he's using the bathroom behind a tree. She loses her footing and they spot her. She's all like making like full blown like eye contact with his butt and everything. Like, she's straight up just like gawking at him while he's using the bathroom, and she slips initially. Making fun of her as his friends encourage him to have sex with her, he boldly claims that he would never have sex with her. She runs away, hiding behind a boulder, but she continues watching them hunt, crying tears of admiration as she daydreams about them being together. On her way home, Elvira overhears Isaac and Agnes having sex in the barn and decides to sneak in and confirm her suspicion. She gets caught watching because one of the horses gets in her face. And this is full blown, y'all. Like, I was kind of surprised that this movie was released in theaters as rated R, because you're getting shots of vagina and you're getting shots of penis. So like, you're getting both. So I was kind of surprised. I was just like,
okay. It's like, I don't remember this in Cinderella. Fair enough.
Cinderella, what are you doing? The following day, Rebecca is shouting at Agnes for last night's sextivities. But this is also another thing where, like, the fact that, like, she was deflowered or whatever, Rebecca feels that she should be disqualified from being able to be shown off to the prince. So
yeah, I also kind of feel bad for this dude because with her character, she pretty much says like, oh no, what's his name? Isaac. When we talked about it earlier, she said like, I need to marry the prince. I will love no one else, but I still need to do this for myself. Of like, this is how I get saved. This is how I get out of everything. And that sucks too, because it's like, you rather sacrifice true love for something superficial and just being rich with someone.
Yeah. Which it's I haven't seen this movie, but I guess like a lot of people have mentioned like some similarities with like the new Wuthering Heights movie and this. I haven't seen it, so I can't confirm that nor deny it, but
they're both period pieces. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that's all I know.
That's the only correlation I know.
That's the only thing I have.
Fair enough.
So I was like, I guess, but But you're right, man. Like, because she is in a way sacrificing true love just to be in competition with someone else that truly doesn't matter. Like she shouldn't have that much stake in how she chooses to live her life. So, but yet she does. Forcing her to the ground, demanding that she has every right, ripping her necklace off, calling Agnes lucky that she doesn't throw her out before walking out. Meanwhile, Elvira fills up on more hidden food with a smile on her face. Rebecca forces Isaac out, casting stones as Agnes is forced to watch her lover from the window. All while Elvira sits in bed with a smile, Julian's poem book, and an upset stomach. 3 full moons later, also known as 3 months later, Alma is cleaning up the hooves of one of the horses, glancing over at Agnes, humming as she carries a basket. Rebecca reveals Elvira's new nose, extremely pleased with the end result, and Elvira looks at herself in the mirror with an entirely different look on her face. She glares out the window at Agnes milking a cow as she continues to hum. Cuts out Elvira getting ready for her next procedure with Dr. Aesthetic. He tests her nose, calling it a masterpiece. While his nurses are preparing the procedure, he mentions that he'll speak with Rebecca regarding breast augmentations next. She's nervous as another nurse prepares a sewing needle. The nurse straps Elvira's head to the table as Aesthetic goops her eyelids with cocaine before snorting it. She's forced to watch him prick the needle through the lids of her eyes, screaming as her eyes cloud with blood from her eyelash extensions. Later that night, with her eyes bandaged, Elvira's tapeworm is keeping her up as a storm rages in the skies. Alma is woken up due to the start of her period. Elvira tries searching for food, but Alma finds her, wondering what she's doing. She tells her little sister that she needs to pee while continuing her trek into the kitchen, pulling the bandages up to help better search for food. Startled by Agnes coming in because she thought it was an intruder, without saying anything, she gives Elvira a piece of cake, which she starts to devour, giving her more and more. Man, dude.
This whole scene is crazy.
This whole scene's incredible. So, like, a couple things that is happening. One, Alma is for her mother's terms, is in quote-unquote womanhood now. So therefore, this is almost an immediate shift where she is now casting herself away from her family. This is the last time we see Alma until the end.
I feel like I have to point out where I feel like her secret is still hidden, because obviously she wasn't able to see her sister have the red spot on her dress. So I don't think she ever tells anyone, because otherwise I think she would have been put into the whole mix of everything too. And this is the first time too. Well, I want to even take a quick step back where the operation, this is where I feel like the filmmaking really just like skyrocketed for me.
Oh, brother.
I don't understand how they did the needle scene with the eye like moving around, and it's like a very close up and it looks like it's going through actual skin, which I'm just like, you guys didn't actually do this. So I don't know how you did this.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, for real. It's like, it looks too real to be like, I don't know if you actually did it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know how you would have done it otherwise if it wasn't real, because it blows my mind and it's so cool to see. And then having a cool red liquid effect kind of go over the camera lens to imitate her eyes filling up with
Very
blood.
James Bond.
Fucking great.
Way.
Phenomenal. So good. And then
It's
now we
really,
also
truly
have
fantastic.
the person you're competing against is actually going to help you out, even though she's not like proud of it, but she's like, here, I got you. I see what you're going through. Here's a piece of cake. Here's some more. And she asks for more and more.
It's as if Agnes knows that, like, even though she feels that she's they're in competition with each other, Agnes knows that she is not in full control.
Right.
Like, because Agnes is. That's the difference between the two of them. Yeah. Agnes is in absolute full control. She's completely disobeying everything Rebecca tells her. Rebecca does not want her to be involved in this. Rebecca even mentioned that she can't be because now she had sex or whatever. For her standpoint, she's just like, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. And I feel like she has empathy towards Elvira because she's technically not doing exactly everything she wants. Piece of it is from Elvira's standpoint, but Elvira is motivated by the aspects of like her loyalty to her mom, right? So it's a little bit different in that case here. But Alma, on the other hand, is different from them all, where she's just like, I'm literally doing everything I want. I'm preparing a horse so I can get out of here. I don't think she was ever planning on taking Elvira with her. She just was thinking of like, I need to get as far away from these people as much as possible. But when she saw how broken Elvira was physically and mentally, she was like, okay, I want to save you from this hell as well.
She's the voice of reason amongst all of this chaos, essentially.
Absolutely.
She's the one that's saying like, no, none of this is okay. And it's crazy that you all are okay with this. It's not normal. And wants that escape, and then sees her sister so tragically defeated at the end. It's like, let me help you escape from this reality of what you're put in, essentially. Yeah. Which
it's very Requiem for a Dream in a sense.
Absolutely. And all the dream sequences too. It's interesting.
Oh yeah. Cut to Sophie and Vanya talking about Agnes's absence while the other girls are practicing their routine. Vanya is pissed, not wanting anyone else to be front and center. She gets up, reprimanding the girls and denying one of them, which causes her to run off crying. Vanya claps for them all to stand, proceeding to check the girls. She approaches Elvira, pleased with the weight that she's lost, having her approach to be the stand-in for the third girl. She's now the main girl. While bathing, she's reading a poem. Agnes comes in to take a message from our sponsors. And we're back. Instead, Agnes is coming in to feed her initially. She's feeding her spaghetti and she continues to read. It's crazy because tapeworms scare the fucking shit out of me. They scare the shit out of me.
After watching this movie, even more so.
Even more so, for sure. But the fact that like you can have a parasite in your body that literally consumes the food before your stomach can digest it. Insane.
And grow. And multiply.
Insane.
And all of the things.
And lay eggs without having another partner. Like it literally can just lay eggs by itself. What? Why does this exist? Why?
And how can we destroy it?
That's the thing. You can't. And it's so easy to get one of these on accident. Like that's what makes it scarier.
I don't want to know that. Don't even tell me the fun fact about this.
I'm sorry.
It's actually super difficult to get this. I'm assuming. Yeah, it's probably extremely difficult.
It's uncommon, but it's still it still has the way that food is prepared, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Check your foods. Nope. Check your foods. Inspect it.
Every meal, just checking my food.
Just show you every single bite you're taking. You're just like, oh shit, hold on. Like you're eating a burger, just like making sure every single thing. There are people who do that. Unfortunately, a lot of people do it based off of like OCD and not like OCD of like when people say like, oh, I have OCD. It's like genuine OCD that like they literally will get ill if they do not take those steps of checking things and moving things and doing things in sequences.
If one imperfection is on something, it's like, I'm not going to eat it. Fair enough.
Oh, yeah. I watched a video of this one lady who discusses how her OCD cripples her, where she was eating some salad and it took her, I think it took her over an hour to eat the salad because she picked through it to remove any blemishes of lettuce. And when she was left with how much salad she had, she only had like 3 bites left of the salad. So like even then, like she could like it's just so unenjoyable for her. And when she was explaining it, she was just like, yeah, this literally is my life. Like I literally cannot do things without these sequences or these checks and balances. Or she literally will get sick and she would go crazy and she would have tantrums. It was so intense, so intense. They trade positions, having Agnes read while she consumes the huge plate of sauce noodles. As she reads, Elvira wonders what Julian means by serpent. Agnes answers with it being penis. So once again, it goes to show you how Elvira is technically not mature enough to even be in this situation. She's still a child.
Yeah.
Like in this, she's doing very adult things with, you know, body modifications and augmentations and wanting to court a person to be with a prince for money and blah, 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 blah. Yet when she's reading this and she's like, I wonder what he means by serpent. And Agnes is very clear, like, he means his dick. Like,
Yeah.
like he means his dick. Like this dude's a pig. Like he literally means his dick. So it's a way to kind of remind the audience that like you're still watching a child.
Right.
Enough of that. Time to brush Elvira's hair, but when Agnes grabs the brush, she removes much of Elvira's hair, reminding her that it's her brush, and mentions her hair loss. Elvira screams as she pulls large clumps out of her hair, which, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's terrifying. Yeah.
Oh my God. A man who I think is named Jan, I don't know, they never said his name, but I think that's what I found. With a huge wardrobe, brings Elvira a dress. Rebecca shouts for Agnes, who they're calling her Cinderella now, to help her with the dress. He's interested in Agnes, not giving a shit about Rebecca talking up her daughter. Grabbing Agnes by the face, she immediately spits in his face and continues working on getting the dress on Elvira. He forces a kiss onto her. She pushes him off, spitting on the ground, and Rebecca shouts for her to clean it up. He brings Elvira to the mirror, pulls her breast up, mind you, full-blown hand inside of her dress, pulling her breast up, and comments about her looking sickly. He moves her hair from her face, pulling out a large strand of it. Her mother checks, noticing a large bald spot on the side of her head. He fixes the issue by placing a wig on top of her head, knowing that she'll make them all rich by tomorrow. Cuts Elvira grabbing more food, her stomach rumbling in pain, while her mom is having sex in another room with Jan. And like he literally takes her out of the room to have sex with her. And it's oh my God, this whole fucking thing.
This whole scene was so uncomfortable. Oh, 100%. That guy is trash.
Absolute
to say the
menace.
least. Very uncomfortable as it should be. But it just shows like how he sees them as pure objects. It's like I could just do whatever.
100%.
And it's a crazy scene, and it's probably one of the more harder scenes, even though there's not a lot of like gore or violence happening in the scene as well.
This scene is so fucking, oh my God.
It's
because like the way he sexualizes all of them, and like not only that, he's obviously a pedophile as well.
Yeah.
So like it's just fuck, man. It's so rough to see this scene because he is a predator, and like
without a doubt.
Like
that's why I was really happy when
this is what he does.
Agnes spit on his face. I was just like, perfect. Yes, that's the right response, and everyone else is just like standing there. So it's like, come on. Yeah, it's rough.
And it was also very clear in her reaction where she's trying to ignore him. She's trying not to make eye contact.
Right.
And this is a very common thing that a lot of women have to deal with, where they try to ignore men and they keep fucking going, not catching a hint or not caring about the hint. It's for them to back the fuck off, dude. She's not interested. And this is something that women have to deal with every single goddamn day. And it fucking sucks. Like it's terrible. Like the shit that they like hearing the stories of how like fearful my wife is to go out and do things by herself sometimes because of men is like heartbreaking to me. That like my own wife doesn't feel 100% comfortable to walk in our neighborhood by herself. Not because we live in a like bad neighborhood, because we definitely don't, but it's because of men. Like it's just like,
and it's understandable. It sucks. It's even sucks to say it's understandable because of how society is, and it's not supposed to be normalized, but it is a common factor that a lot of people have to go through. Even me, I try to be self-conscious. Like if it's late at night, if I see someone walk in my direction, I will cross the street.
You put your hood up. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it's like, it sucks what people have to feel fear just being alone and having to like just walk somewhere normal to the grocery store, anything, any task. You kind of have to look over your shoulder a little bit in this world.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a bummer.
Agnes, on the other hand, opens her trunk, stashing the baby shoes in her pocket and grabbing her ball dress. This is where the more of the fantastical aspects are about to happen, which is they also blended in really, really well. Like it makes it feel like it's real. It doesn't make it feel like it's in her head. So that's great. Elvira comes back up, noticing the dress, trying to snatch it, but Agnes plans on going to the ball. So Elvira goes feral, ripping the dress, and Rebecca comes in, calling off Agnes and reassuring Elvira that Agnes won't be able to go, and she'll be the most beautiful girl there. She runs to grab her invitation, holding it close as she smiles, accepting medicine from her mother as her stomach growls. Meanwhile, Agnes is lying on the remains of Otto as maggots consume his body. She falls asleep as silkworms stitch new pieces to her dress. She wakes up from her dead mother, calling out to her, who's her fairy godmother as well, which is great. With a bright beam of light, she reveals that her shoes that are in her pocket are also now the shoes that she can wear. They're her size, warning her that her carriage will turn into a pumpkin at midnight and nobody will recognize her at the ball. Elvira, though, is all types of fucked up. As her mother puts her wig on with a grumbling tummy, she can't help but see a chipper Agnes gathering items. Rebecca brings her attention to her beauty, ready for tonight's ball. They arrive in awe at the castle, but once they enter, all Elvira can hear is her stomach. The royal staff starts calling up pursuers to snag the attention of the prince and his father. His father looked like he's on the verge of dying right there. I'm just like, I couldn't tell if he was like dying in bad shape or if he's bored. Like, it was hard to tell. It's just like, what the fuck's going on with this guy?
The life of the party.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Rebecca fires up Elvira, having her bark like a dog because it's her turn. She barks and whimpers as she trots around the court, and all the men are just like, my God, she's the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
I think even one of them says, like, look how obedient she is. And I'm just like, yeah, this is wild.
Yeah, he says that to Miss Sophie, and Miss Sophie's like, I did that. Like, I taught her that, and I taught her, like, or no. Miss Sophie said that she
transformed her, essentially.
She transformed her, and she said she's a very good, obedient girl.
Yeah.
Is what she said. Sophie shares that she was the one to get her in shape, calling her obedient and devoted. The room is in awe, especially Julian's horny ass friends commenting about her breast. And they're just like, oh, like, look at her boobs. Like, oh my God. Like,
they kind of crowd around him.
And she overhears them and she's stoked about it.
Yeah. It is obviously a time period piece. But at the same time, they make these guys act like frat bros, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which just shows it's timeless that these people still fucking exist. Where it's like, nope, the way you see people act today, they were doing that way back when as well. And that's a sad reality as well.
Yeah, this was like, and those two characters reminded me of like characters inside like a National Lampoon movie.
Yeah,
you know,
easily.
like
these are the frat bros. These are the douchebags, like
an Animal House or an American Pie or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Doofuses who only want to fuck. In the back, the girls are all freaking out about their performance while Vanya reminds Elvira of the steps. After she walks away, Elvira burps as her stomach rumbles, but all she can do is smile because she's this close to getting her prince. She goes on to perform front and center, wooing Julian, and she kills it. She fucking kills it. She is like, everybody is like completely swooned by the way she's dancing and the way she's moving, and everyone is just like whoa. And she has many suitors after this, because when she comes back out, Rebecca is speaking with all of the suitors, queuing up the dance with Elvira. So her mom's happy now. She's just like, who cares if you get the prince at this point? When at this point, it is very keen that Elvira's like, now she's trying to do this for herself because she's like, I want the prince. It's now no longer about the money. It's very much like Elvira's trying to prove something of like, I want to be able to get the prince. So like, she doesn't want to settle for anything else rather than just the prince. The royal staff gathers everyone's attention as Julian prepares to choose who he'd like to dance with. The girls are all lined up as he walks through, lasering his gaze at Elvira before approaching her. Extending his hand to dance with her as they dance, her stomach growls with hunger. He compliments her beauty before the music abruptly halts as Agnes, wearing a veil, comes and steals the room and Julian's attention, leaving Elvira to take Agnes's hand instead. Like, straight up, he's just like, time to go to the next one. And like, not even like smitten by her beauty, because he can't see her face that well. She's wearing a veil over her face and stuff like that. So it's just very clear that, like, yeah, she was a showstopper or whatever for everybody in the room. So,
Yeah.
as she's crying, her mother is trying to hand her another rich dude's hand to dance with because her mom's just like, "Get the fuck over it. It's time. Like,
Next.
it's game time now.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you've been working for. It's game time now. Strut your fucking stuff. Let's get to it. Let's get this money." And that's how she's been viewing this shit. But she runs off, trying to hold back her vomit before finally spewing tapeworm eggs in the dressing room. She moves back in fear as her stomach continues to rumble, and Rebecca comes in, picking her up as she ignores her daughter's beliefs that she's dying. She wipes Elvira's mouth, reminding her that there are other great men out there, demanding that she stop crying and pull herself together, slapping her in the face. I thought all along that Rebecca knew her daughter took a tapeworm.
Oh, I believe so too. She's not thrown by it at all. She looked at it and she's like, cool, right on. It's coming out. That's fine. It's like, all right, now that you got that out of the way, you can go back out there and do your job.
Right.
Find that
Exactly.
rich guy.
So,
I think this is
there
where,
you go.
kind of like you were talking about too, where Elvira is kind of like doing it for herself and doesn't really feel pressured by her mom. I think now that the mom sees her fully transformed into like the woman she's supposed to always be, it's like, all right, now
Her mom now
have-
sees the potential.
Yeah, it's like, don't fuck this up. Sure, you lost your prince. There's several other suitors out there that are rich. It's crazy.
Yeah. And like her mom is also in this mindset of just like, this is what we're doing this for. Like,
Right. Don't forget.
remember, this is why we're doing this.
Right.
It reminds me of the scene in like Frozen where the Duke of Weaselton is there, and like initially you have that prince who courts Anna and they're ready to get married that same day, and all it was just it reminds me of that. Like then it is off to the races as she frantically dances with multiple people while Julian continues only dancing with Agnes. The room shifts with laughter, maggots and rooms spilling from everyone's mouth as she spins around in circles, but all she can truly think about is the prince. When they all bend over at the end of the song, it is revealed that Agnes is the one who was in the dress, and the clock strikes midnight. She runs out of the ballroom and Julian chases after her. Sad girl vibes for Elvira as she goes back home. Meanwhile, Julian is ready to boo up whoever can fit Agnes's left shoe that was left behind. Well, Elvira screams in anger as she makes it back home, and only a pumpkin is left on the ground outside. She goes to Agnes, who's feeding a mouse some cheese, grabbing a cleaver, demanding the shoe as she chases after Agnes. She manages to disarm this insane-ass girl wanting the shoe, chasing her up the stairs, stopping when Rebecca comes out to see what's going on. But she's drunk, and she's with the guy who danced with Elvira, whose name is Frederick. This is crazy because like he's like tickling her while she's trying to check on her daughter, and her daughter's in an absolute manic state at this point.
Right.
And she's just like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, stop!" And just like all this whole other shit. But she demands that she goes back to bed because she blew her chance with the prince, wanting her to get over it.
Damn.
What? That's crazy. Like, obviously, yeah, in terms of like the way that the mom is saying this, like, move on kind of thing. He doesn't want you.
Right.
But for her, she's just like, move on to the next suitor kind of.
Right. And she's kind of like doing the
This
same
family
thing. It's
sucks.
like, I'm finding someone right now to help this family out. It's like, I'm doing
Right.
I'm doing my part. Like, get over yourself. Go to your room and we'll reset.
It's like stormtroopers. Like, I'm doing my part. Agnes runs
Which I
off,
mean,
calling them all
I'm fucking doing shit. Have you seen that one?
Agnes runs off, calling them all insane. Elvira sits alone, not able to fit the shoe. She gets the bold idea to grab the cleaver as she thinks about mutilating her foot to force it to fit. Placing the shoe next to her foot, using it to match how much she needs to cut off. Slicing
Big
her foot
difference.
so she can use it as guidelines to hack the rest off. Screaming in pain until Alma comes into the room, taking her headband, tying it around her leg as a tourniquet. Her mother and Frederick come into the room, but he faints. Elvira cries that she will be able to fit into the shoe as Rebecca gently tends to her. Alma wonders what they are to do now, and all Rebecca can mention is the fact that she cut the wrong foot.
That
Bro, when this line was
so
said,
good. Yeah.
oh
the first
my
watch too, especially was so like, oh my god, that's fucked. That is so fucked. Dude, like
Holy
all
shit.
of that, and it's like hanging off, like its limbs are still like attached.
dangling,
Her
dude.
toes are
It's
still
dangling.
It's not fully cut through, and it's like, oh honey, it's the wrong foot. Yeah, it's a good
Fuck,
moment.
dude.
It's a
God
terrible
damn it.
moment, but a good moment in the film.
Oh
where I'm
my
just like,
God.
fuck, that's fucked.
Alma knows what she wants to do, telling her mother no and to just leave her. But she's determined to make the shoe fit. Alma gets the fuck out of there as Rebecca checks on Elvira's severed toes. While Elvira is knocked out, she chops off the hanging toes while taking care of the other foot. Cool. Elvira dreams about Julian coming to see her in the blue dress, having her try on the shoe. It fits. He picks her up, wanting to message the castle so they can marry. They kiss, but it is back to reality. Toes still on the floor and shit while she's lying in bed unconscious with her eyes open. I had a cousin who does this. I don't know if she does this anymore, but she would sleep
what?
with her eyes open.
Oh, I
she
was
would
about
sleep
to say,
with her
she
eyes
cut
open.
her toes off? What the fuck?
No, I wouldn't be surprised if she did,
Scared.
but no. But like, she sleeps with her eyes open, which I remember
would
she fell
terrify
asleep at my house when we were kids, and her eyes were just open while she was sleeping, and we were calling her to wake her up, and as soon as we woke her up, her eyes just turned bloodshot red, as if like she just woke up. It was fucking nuts, and I was like, wait a fucking goddamn second here. Like, it's just terrifying. I have to ask her if she still does that because I'm
What
I'm
an
curious.
eye-opening
She's my little
experience that you
cousin.
had.
but- Huh?
What? Did I just say you had a very eye-opening experience? Yes. Yeah. There you go.
I did. She gasps awake as the castle's messenger sounds his horns for all the noble virgins to come out for the prince. She whimpers as she stumbles out of bed, falling flat on her face, chipping her tooth. She's a fucking mess right now.
hair's
Crawling to
falling
make it
out.
outside.
Everything.
Looking absolutely insane, she falls down the steps, breaking her nose in the process, but the horns continue to sound. Agnes stands over her, staring in shock at her appearance as she steps outside to claim her fate with the prince. He calls out that the shoe fits and he found his princess. Elvira cries at the bottom of the steps as Agnes kisses Julian outside. Now this is very sad for everyone here. But like Agnes in particular, she literally did this out of a competition that turned into survival, right? Because Agnes is just like, I need money, and I saw this is how she gets money, Rebecca. So she, in a way, she's doing the exact same thing Rebecca did.
No, exactly. She left her true love to be with this guy literally for money,
Yeah,
not for love.
Because like she could have found Isaac, right? She could have left a long time ago, but she didn't. She didn't.
She could have
leave.
left with him. Yeah.
Yeah, she could have, but she didn't. And I think a lot of the clear indicators of that, well, I don't want to say clear, but a lot of the indicators of that are the fact that she has this, this found way of like, well, how will I survive? She even told Isaac in the beginning that like, I have to marry him. Like, this is how I get out of this mess.
Yeah.
When that's not necessarily true. Womp womp. Fade to Alma waking her up to tell her that they're leaving now, asking for the antidote. Inside the kitchen, Alma prepares a bowl of milk for Elvira to purge into. She receives the antidote, leaning over the bowl as her stomach groans. She retches out blood before struggling and choking to get the worm out. Alma sees it, coming out slowly, pulling this lengthy motherfucker out of her choking sister, finally getting to the point where the worm is stuck. And this is where we both kind of agree of like, Jesus Christ, how,
How did they do
the
this?
range that she has in this moment, that Aaliyah has in this moment, where she's like, her eyes are bulging out of her skull, and like her face is turning so red, and there's so much tension and stress that she's putting on her body in this scene, and it's just, my God.
I
Jesus.
forgot. I mean, maybe my mind protects myself from like these visuals where I'm like, I forgot how long it was, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh
it's
yeah,
still
this
going.
scene's long as fuck, dude.
It's
This
still going.
scene's, I think, almost like
It's
2
still
minutes.
going. No, but not
Yeah.
not just the scene itself, but how long
Oh,
that
the
fucking
worm.
tapeworm was.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
And then how like it all comes flooding out afterwards too.
Yeah.
Completely forgot that moment. See, you were right. I was squirming. I was like,
Squirming indeed.
Nope.
Squirming
Don't want that.
indeed. She
is
yanks
horrific.
it out as the larger coiled pieces come spewing out of Elvira's mouth. Alma picks it up, cutting the umbilical-looking creature. Alma goes into her mother's room to steal her jewelry while performing a fellatio on Frederick. And this moment is so fucking heartbreaking, because she's stealing the jewelry because obviously she's like, we need money to get out of here. That's not the heartbreaking part. The heartbreaking part is that Rebecca stops, notices Alma doing it,
And she's cool with it.
because she knows like
She's like, yeah, go.
this is
Fine.
the only way I can save my daughters from not having the exact same lifestyle that I have.
Yeah.
And like in that moment, she's like, this is how my daughters are saved, by going away from me. Like, that's the empathetic notion of it. But then you have the selfish notion of it, where it's just like, this is my life. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So like you have two sides here where you can, and how you can interpret this. You can interpret it, the mom being either empathetic or selfish.
I kind of, I guess, involuntary thought of selfish with her motives. It's like, I see what it's like. You guys can leave, whatever. I'm still staying here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and
keep
do
doing
what
what
I
I'm
have to
doing.
do. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is,
So,
oh, man, it's
yeah.
rough.
So like there's two ways that people can interpret this scene. And I also interpret it the same way that you did. Like I interpret it as selfishness, knowing that like, yeah, okay, yeah, my kids are stealing from me so they can leave. She's like, but whatever. Like I'm gonna do what I'm doing. You know, I'm gonna marry this Frederick Von Fish or whatever the fuck, Von Oyster. I think he's
right.
like a duke of like,
do you like oysters?
of like some like yeah. He's
like
like,
fish?
look, oysters. How about fish?
Shrimp? Yes. Okay.
just to shut him
Alright.
up. She was like, yes. Fuck.
Like shrimp.
Rebecca stops when she notices, but continues because that's her way of surviving. She goes back to try to save her sister. By she, I mean Alma. She helps Elvira down the steps and onto the horse. And this is once again, like when she's helping her down the steps, it's another proving point of just how innocent Elvira is. Both of them. But just how innocent Elvira is, because she's doing it like kind of like a wheelbarrow style, where she's holding her legs up because she knows that her feet don't fucking work right now. So she's holding her legs up as she's coming down the steps, but they're laughing and they're having fun. And even though despite their situation that they're trying to escape, they are still finding light and heart out of the situation that they have together, being sisters. And with the laughter that they're sharing with one another as she's taking her down the steps, it once again showcases the innocence behind these two gals. God damn it. This movie's so fucking perfect, dude.
It's so
like this
good.
movie's so goddamn good. Like it's so good. She helps Elvira down the steps and onto the horse, wanting them to make sure that they cross the border before it gets dark, and they ride off, leaving the dead tapeworm for the crows. Then
That was disgusting. Too.
credits.
The crows eating
Man,
the
dude.
tapeworm was wild too to see.
Oh yeah, that was
But
fucking
yeah, quite
gross.
the ending where you see everyone's character's journey end somewhere where they need to be, where they need to go. And it's just,
Absolutely.
yeah, damn. Brutal movie.
Completely agree.
But good movie.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who are familiar with the mom, she's in another movie called The Wave that came out in 2015. Really good movie about like a scientist who discovers that a particular wave, like a tidal wave I guess so, like it's like a tidal wave or like a tsunami is going to happen, and it's like this cosmic event that this geologist found, because he found that there was like going to be an 85-meter high tsunami that's going to happen in this Norwegian town. and his wife is on the other side of town, and he's trying to get to her as quickly as possible with his wife and kid. So like it's a good movie. It's very slow, but it is a good one if anybody wants to check it out. But that's called The Wave, and it has the mom in this who's extraordinary in that movie as well. I can't pronounce her name, but I think it's Ann Daltorp. But there you go. But yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. Shout out to Norway. But I do got a couple of movie facts for us here.
Movie facts?
The Ugly Stepsister is the feature-length directorial debut of Norwegian filmmaker Emilie Blichfeldt, who also wrote the screenplay. Before this film, Blichfeldt's work included shorts and festival projects, but this is her first full-length narrative cinema release. That's
fucking
awesome.
insane. That's amazing.
It is. When Agnes is milking the cow, she is humming the theme music for Scheck's Cinderella movie, 3 Wishes for Cinderella from 1973.
That's cool.
That is cool. Although the Ugly Stepsister exaggerates many situations to create dark humor and body horror, several ideas in the film were inspired by real beauty practices from the 19th century that today seem shocking. 1. Toxic products used to lighten the skin. In 19th century Europe, very pale skin was a sign of social status. It indicated that the person did not work outdoors in the sun. Because of this, some women used powders containing lead or arsenic, creams with mercury, pills called arsenic wafers, which promised to make the complexion lighter. These substances could cause poisoning, skin damage, and serious health problems. Dangerous eye drops. The second one was dangerous eye drops to enlarge the eyes. Some women put drops made from belladonna, which is a poisonous plant, into their eyes. This dilated the pupils and made the eyes appear larger and shinier, something considered very attractive at the time. However, the effect could cause blurred vision, sensitive to light, and even poisoning. And finally, extreme tight corsets. Corsets were common garments, but some women practiced tight lacing, tightening the corset excessively. Possible consequences included deformation of the ribs, difficulty breathing and digestive problems, and a very small waist was seen as a symbol of elegance. This is something that's starting to kind of come back, I've noticed as well, like people tightening their corsets to have kind of more of that like Coke bottle shape. So like this is kind of like something that I've been noticing is a little bit more of a trend as of late. But yeah. Final one here. Elvira swallows the tapeworm egg, aiming at eating but not putting on weight. Because the tapeworm lives in the intestines and absorbs nutrients from the intestinal contents. In other words, from the food that the host has already begun to digest. However, it does not eat like other animals. A tapeworm has no mouth and no digestive system. Instead, it absorbs nutrients directly through the surface of its body called the tegument. As a result, she develops tenacis, an adult worm in the intestines. This occurs when the tapeworm grows inside the human intestines. Possible consequences include growth of a worm several meters long in the intestines, as actually happens to Elvira, abdominal pain or discomfort, nausea or diarrhea, weight loss or increased appetite, passing segments of the worm in the stool. In many people, the symptoms are mild, and some individuals may not even realize that they're even infected.
Yeah. Thank God it's super uncommon and not at all scary at all. That's good. It's like 0.000000001% chance, which is nice.
Sure. But that was the Ugly Stepsister. We want to definitely keep this conversation going, and we can do so by heading over to our Discord or inside of the YouTube comments or over inside the Spotify comments or on Patreon. Wherever you choose to watch the show, feel free, if they have a comment section, to share your thoughts on the Ugly Stepsister or the episode in general. But man,
not about tapeworms.
Yeah, for real. Before we jump into what our next film is going to be, we want to take a quick moment to go ahead and shout out our patrons over on patreon.com/nightlightpod. That's night with a K. We're going to take a moment to have our community manager, Allison, to go ahead and do that right now.
What is up, my baddies? This is Stormy Night, your lovely community manager, recovering from the flu, clocking in because I love you. I rhymed, so you know it's true. Okay, this week I want to shout out Avery, aka Southern Night, aka I miss you, bitch. Kevin, my wedding date. Thank you so much for having such a fun drive with me. I love your cats. Gia, Alice, that's me. I do this every fucking time. Farah, my Twilight bestie. I love your face. I'm so glad you're coming to watch parties. You are simply the best. Sergio, Jasmine, Kadrea, Raquel, Samantha, Dim, Johnny, Kelly, Rain, our marketing manager, my bestie. Can't wait to see you in September. I'm legit going to cry and cling to you like Velcro. Carrie, Chantel, Joe. We have some awesome Twitch streamers. If you go to our gaming channel, you'll see they posted links. Go ahead and support them. And if you don't, I'm going to cry. Thank you so much. If you don't see yourself on here and you should be on here, please let us know. If you want to be on here, you know what to do. Join our Hellfire tier and go ahead and support the boys. You're going to get your personalized shout out by yours truly. We have some incredible stuff on Patreon coming up. Let me know if you want a birthday shout out, an anniversary shout out, death shout. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Anyway, we love you. Thank you for the support, and I will love you until the end of time. This is a threat.
Thank you so much for all of your support for the show. We truly, truly cannot thank you guys enough. Whether you're watching the show for free or you're listening in on your drives or you're listening at work, thank you. Thank you for incorporating us into your life. It means a ton to us. And it's honestly still shocking that people want to listen to us. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey. We truly couldn't do this without you guys. If you would also like your name shouted out on the show, you can head over to patreon.com/nightlightpod, that's night with a K, and you can do so by learning more about our tier system to have your name also shouted out on the show. We would love to hear from you. Sign on up. But the next film that we're going to be covering is going to be Lights Out, which very excited about. Very excited about this one. I thought we covered this, but we didn't. So
I love this movie. So
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited. This movie actually has a lot of history for both Freddie and I. This is where Freddie and I actually established our friendship on horror. It was because of Lights Out. So surprise, surprise. So there you go. Very excited to talk about this one. But this was Nightlight, our horror movie podcast. I was one of your hosts, Prince, also known as Head Knight. Alongside me, we had Freddie.
Staying tapeworm free.
Since 1991. Also known as Nighty Night. With your help, we can reach more ghoulish nights with your recommendation for the show. If your podcast app allows you to rate the show, consider us give us a 5-star rating or a like on YouTube and a subscribe. It really helps us out a ton. For extra horror-related content, head over to patreon.com/nightlightpod. That's night with a what?
Okay. Check your food.
And remember, everybody, don't forget your nightlight.